Every boulder.
Yeah, boy, we just got to watch out for number one. Just be sure we don't step on number two while we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
That's our motto of the podcast,
Pretty
actually.
much.
You know, we really do try hard. There are sometimes, so, you know, we love sticking with the comedy stuff, but sometimes you get these stories that come along that you just can't get away from it.
Yeah.
And you really need to talk about it. And I think this next one is that, because I think we can all agree that it was an important thing. It was a good thing to see, at least from my viewpoint. And that was the Jon Stewart with the Senate subcommittee. Or actually, it was congressional, and it was on the aid package for the 9/11 first responders, victims and stuff. And I mean, man, you know what's funny is I thought this thing was dealt with already, but apparently it hasn't been.
It's been hanging on
for a long time.
They've been kicking that can forever.
And it's really sad because you look at so Sam and I were talking about this the other day. When the minute that the call went out, dudes were in that lobby within minutes,
right,
ready to go up those stairs as the second plane hit.
5 seconds is the official response time.
Yeah. And so, you know, you're sitting there and you're looking at people that are running upstairs. They're trying to put out fires. They're trying to save people. And then they're in this building as it's collapsing in many cases. So there's a lot of victims that are hurt in it.
Right.
And so you would think that there would be something in city government, state government, and federal government to support these folks, right?
They you know, you've got folks that have given their all, and you're basically turning your back on them.
Right. Now, one of the things, and I don't say this to be disrespectful or anything, but those were true heroes at that point.
When you say the word hero, that's what comes to my mind.
Yeah. The thing that is a little sad for me is that after that happened, we call everybody responding as a function of their job a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with the fact that you're doing a really special thing that not anybody can do, but unless you're running into a running building while it's on fire being hit by airplanes, I consider you just doing your job, okay? Yeah. Now, you may pull off a heroic feat doing it, then you'll get recognized for that.
Right.
So I look at the people that have done this, and I look at all the resources that went into that, and I'm ashamed to know that this went on this long without completion.
Without doing something for them.
So
doing the right thing.
Yeah, doing the right thing. So what made news was Jon Stewart's speech that he gave, which I thought was incredibly poignant.
Yeah.
And well versed and much needed and way overdue.
I mean, Jon Stewart, when we normally look at him, he's a pretty funny guy. He's a good comic. I enjoy the guy's comedy. Sure. Now, politically, he rubs me, but I mean, I get it. I get where he's coming from. He even makes that funny. I mean, really, if you look at it, the guy is funny. He's got a good nature about him.
Yeah, the way his political disposition, I would say of all of them, he's probably more equally distributed amongst the bunch. He points out their own issues as well as the obvious.
Everybody is fair game for him.
Yeah, I agree.
The guy's funny. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's very impassioned about it.
To see how serious the subject matter was, and I took him to heart on everything he said.
Yeah, I believe.
I mean, when he sat there and he was pleading on behalf of, like, look, do your jobs.
Yeah.
You know, and the part that got me was when he goes, look at how empty these seats behind me are full.
Right.
Yeah.
These people, it's important to them. They showed up for it. And then look at you.
He's got a chemo patient who's there for his 69th treatment.
Right.
There attending.
And they don't have the respect enough to show up for that.
So one of the guys I was in the Army with, he said something in one of his Facebook posts that really kind of resonated with me, and that was that it took this group to get Jon Stewart to basically carry the torch for them in order to get Congress's attention. Because if it had been anybody else, it would be, you know, some unknown person showed up to Congress. Congress wasn't there. They made notes in the log that said so and so was there, and a nobody plead their case.
Just
and again, it would be just another kick in the can down the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Until Jon Stewart shows up, news media outlets hear his impassioned plea, and then suddenly the following day, we pass this thing unanimously, get out our phones, tweet out how fucking great Americans we are, and we're taking care of our own.
Yeah.
No. You'd have been taking care of your own if Joe Schmo showed up and said, hey.
You should
and
be
now,
ashamed.
the other thing that okay, so when this fund started going down the toilet, and they started basically bargaining to they take these claims and say, okay, your 100% claim now is only going to be paid at like 30%. Yeah, because the 30 was the last number that I saw.
Yeah.
But the fact that you weren't prepared for this, and then some of the arguments were, this isn't a U.S. problem. This is a New York problem.
Right.
When it got to that level, that suddenly there's some we have some emergency workers who just need to be taken care of by their state. That to me, those items alone,
that's a hand wash. I was like,
oh my God, you motherfuckers.
Well, the sad part about that is that anytime the FBI shows up, it becomes federal jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what any court says. At the end of the day, they're superseding all local authority.
Yep.
Okay. The governor of the state and the mayor of the state have assets and resources that are tied to that investigation, which fall under control. What Department of Homeland Security wasn't
they weren't
even
They
the
weren't
it was the FBI, so that's why they developed DHS, so they can tie these units together.
Right.
So what ends up happening is I had friends that left Texas to go to Ground Zero. One of them's a forensic dentist. He actually identifies cold case stuff for teeth and things like that, and that's in many cases that's all they were finding.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a friend that had a cadaver dog that was there as well. And what's sad about that is I think the last surviving 9/11 search dog just recently passed away. Right. And the problem they had with that scale is that cadaver dogs are trained on a fine success ratio. Or I should say they're search dogs. They're not cadaver dogs. They're search dogs with cadaver search capability. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for survivors. A lot of these dogs came back, they were depressed because they couldn't find anybody.
Yeah.
They were just finding pieces. And there was this huge outcry for these dogs that were like, look, they're not adjusting well now. They're going through depression. And so through private funding, these animals were basically received funds.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I bring that up is because now we have human asset that's not getting treated the same way.
Right.
Okay.
You're treating a dog better.
Yeah, better. And it's kind of sad. I get the mentality, but I don't get what they did and how they did it. So what I find really interesting about this is that looking into Jon Stewart's background, he's got a history
of taking on these
causes.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I went from being on the fence with the dude to being more like, wow, I really want to know more about what this guy does.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he really does take on some very humanitarian things.
He's got quite an extensive resume of humanitarian efforts.
I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. I'm not going to allow politics to get involved in that part of it until he makes politics a part of it.
Right. And
then
he kept it down the middle.
He kept it right down the middle.
Yep.
Pointed the finger like, look at all these empty seats. You should be out there, and we should be out there asking you why you're not here.
Correct. Yeah.
And so we have all these instances, and what I thought was interesting is it's kind of like I get these movie flashbacks when I start seeing things happen.
Yeah.
And you remember the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
When they were all these smart guys going to school.
Right.
And the first started out, they were all in class taking notes, and then as the semester went on, there was a tape recorder on the desk with the professor giving his speech. And there's tape recorders all around the auditorium recording. This is kind of how our government works, okay? Yep. They've considered themselves too busy to hear certain things. Well, they messed up on this one because what they do is they usually send in an aide or somebody to sit there and make notes, and they read basically the Cliff Note version of it.
Right.
When they should have, out of respect for what these people did,
particularly what this topic was.
Yeah,
oh
they should have showed their ass up, parked them in the seats. Okay? Now, they'll show up to defend one of their own.
Sure.
Okay? They'll show up to attack a captain of industry or somebody that they feel they want to make an example of. But when they're there to help somebody that needed to help,
right,
they didn't show up.
No, go back when they had Zuckerberg there. Look at the circus that was.
I fall all over him, kiss his ass, and I'm like, dude, really?
Exactly.
So I like I said, I commend what Jon Stewart did. That was incredible. What I think is interesting though is in the aftermath, it gets passed, and now we're kind of left with this example. Is this what it's going to take to get action out of our politicians?
Right.
Well, and then sadly, it'll become a parody of itself. It
will.
It's someone will take it and use it to their advantage.
And
that's the bad.
The
part.
unfortunate thing about this whole Jon Stewart thing is that, high profile individuals, movie actors or whatever, Jon Stewart's appearance here sort of validated every other cause that any of these people sort of jump into.
I don't know. I think he picked the right one. I mean,
now I'm not saying that,
because Alyssa Milano, look at the crazy shit she's doing.
But the thing is depending on what side of the or your skew on the argument, some people would look at it at whatever she's doing in the same light that they give credibility to what Jon Stewart did.
Well, I think the danger that we have here is we're making an icon out of him, and he'll become a mouthpiece now.
Yeah.
Or a sought-after mouthpiece. Because we had Clooney show up and do that kind of shit. Well, Clooney's an idiot. Then we had Ashton Kutcher talking about the immigration thing. He was up there pleading the immigration thing. So you get some of these offbeat celebrities, okay? So he has never come across as an offbeat celebrity. His resume exempts him from the crazy list. But when you start looking at Melissa Milano, so what ends up happening is they're telling me you have to choose your celebrity carefully.
Yes. Okay, which is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah. I mean, you were going to say, though, about that.
Well, that's what I was kind of going down that road is what I fear out of this is they make these icons out of it.
Sure.
And that they prop this up and say, see, this is the same as Jon Stewart in Passion Plea for X cause, whatever that is. So, and then you end up passing stupidity. You know what I mean?
So
that's my fear.
Let's compare him to Candace Owens. Okay? Because we talked about Candace Owens in the past. Very intelligent person, very well spoken, very well known in social media circles. Right. She tends to be because she lands on the wrong side of an issue, she becomes vilified.
She's a firebrand. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she definitely is for sure. And what's interesting is she's female and she's black, but she's extremely passionate about what she talks about.
Oh, absolutely.
She's logical. She's very logical and well educated about it. And what I think is interesting is she minces no words to either conservative or liberal. No. She's basically speaking a straight path. So what ends up happening is that people pick and choose these people based upon certain likability factors. Now, Stewart doesn't take a whole lot of negative press.
Yeah, never.
He just doesn't, because he finds that middle road. I felt like Candace Owens has middle road too.
To a degree.
She's pleading a case until it comes to logic and common sense. Then they attack her because she's logical and has common sense.
Right. And that just
blows it out of the water for them. So I think it's interesting to watch how people move through ranks of political spokesmanship.
Right.
People that are called before Senate and Congress. So when it comes to celebrities, I think for the most part, people are familiar with what a court jester is, and they feel like a lot of these celebrities are that. They're court jesters. Stewart, he's not really a high-profile actor.
For most of the time, he stays out of the eye.
He does. Out of the eye, which is very, very smart. And so he picks and chooses the right battles.
Well, he probably doesn't let himself be used as a tool like most of them
there
are.
You go.
And
there you go.
Behind the scenes, probably a lot of these celebrities are getting money deals out of it, getting acting jobs that they normally wouldn't get.
Personal gain.
They do it for personal gain. You can just tell.
Sure.
Because nobody's that passionate about some of the crap that they're passionate about. Even the people that... whoever it is that they're trying to represent aren't as impassioned as they are about half of it. So
I've always been jaded towards multimillionaire celebrities because what I mean by that is they're charity.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you have that kind of money, you need some kind of release for your taxes. You need some way to defer your taxes. So you donate these large amounts of money to certain organizations and groups. So that's going to make you highly sought out by political entities.
Oh, they're going to court you.
They're going to court you hardcore.
Exactly.
So what ends up happening is you start seeing people that'll decide to take a lunatic path. Okay?
Yeah.
They do some really dumb shit with their money. Okay? Yeah. And then you have the other ones that are on the street corner holding a sign saying, I need more money.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because even though, like, just say the NRA, for example.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we talked about this a little bit during this last one. And they were originally, they were a political lobby group. Okay?
Sure.
And so, you get a letter from Wayne LaPierre, basically going through all the, hey, we're under attack, we're under assault, we're under this, we're under that. Send me cash. That's the whole thing. It's like a TV evangelist.
Yep.
Okay, look, Jesus loves you. Jesus will save you, but you need to send $5 for a prayer cloth.
So I can save other people.
So yes, exactly. So
you get to heaven quicker if you give me that extra $5.
Yeah, you get this extra money. So we have this whole P.T. Barnum mentality to politics.
Yeah.
And celebrity. And so what ends up happening is we're blurring celebrity now with politicians, because you have a president that was more of a businessman celebrity.
Yeah.
Now he's a political leader.
Yeah.
Then you have Schwarzenegger, which came in. He was an actor, highly influential, very philanthropic, apparently, and then became a governor.
They're figuring that crossover out. I mean, look at Oprah and all that.
Sure.
I really thought we were going to see that this time around.
Well, it's because they
push that scenario.
They do, because they spend their money influencing people through that television.
Right.
Through that book, through that radio show, and through the talk shows that they do. It's interesting because people don't study and read anymore.
No.
They're looking to be entertained.
It's the Google generation.
It is.
I just looked it up and read 5 seconds worth of stuff, and now I'm educated.
Yeah. Rich is being nice, but influence.
Yes.
Influence, on the other hand, gets me things that through favor that otherwise I'd end up having to pay for.
So we watch Billions a lot. We love Billions.
Yep.
And one thing that you really learn really quick with screenwriters is they follow a lot of truth.
Yeah.
They have to. Art imitates life.
Because you have to make it relatable.
Yes, you engage the government. And so what you find in that one is that influence is more important than money.
Absolutely.
Money follows influence.
Right.
Okay, and then so
relationships. Oh my God!
And at some point, you're spent. Which compromise am I willing to deal with? Mm-hmm. And so, very much the same thing goes on in these political circles. I mean, when you sit there and you look at some of the characters are going to hide in the weeds and do things behind the scene. Then you get the crazy ones that are just up front. And we love talking about this next one because. She's
always entertaining.
This is Stripper Without a Pole.
Oh, every time.
Every time I see her, I keep thinking of
I just want to know how they get her to get those stupid looks on her face.
It's just freeze frame camera.
I know, but it's just awesome because it seems like they could do that with other people, and she just. I don't know. There's something about her that it just ends up just right every time.
Yeah, she just reminds me of a solid gold dancer. She just does.
Every time crazy what were we calling her a while ago? The crazy solid gold dancer?
Yeah, solid. Yeah, because she's out there right now, and I got to wonder how much of this they're going to listen to. So she's out there hawking for a pay raise for politicians,
or she's in support of a cause that they're trying to
a $5,000 pay raise for them.
Yeah.
Now, $5,000 pay raise over 12 months ain't nothing.
Ain't a lot of money.
So what she's doing is she's basically saying that to keep us from taking lobbyist money.
Right. You're going to have to give us a pay raise.
Isn't that kind of like blackmail?
That's kind of how everybody took that, I think.
Stop slipping me under the table and I'm going to extort you for the money.
She's one of these people that I think, as a bartender, she's probably one of these people that always came up and said, hey, you know what? We should pull the tips. Let's pull the tips. And then she would go get on her phone for 5 hours during her shift, and everybody else would do the work. That's how she strikes me.
That's what she reminds me of. Well, it's funny because she took on Amazon just recently.
Yeah.
And in another gem of genius.
This morning's headline.
Yeah, go ahead.
Makes a claim that says Amazon is guilty of paying poverty wages. And the thing that's crazy is there's no basis in these claims. It's just
the words.
The thing is things that are subjective to her. She just turns around and goes, "If I understand it this way, therefore it is."
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not how this fucking works.
No.
But the way that she says it, though, grabs headlines, and people are gonna continue to stick microphones in her face. They're gonna continue to quote her because she's so politically charging.
Well, and Jeff Bezos likes it because it's his name again in headlines.
Yeah,
it's another. Bezos is sitting back going, "Yeah, keep going. This is awesome. People keep coming to Amazon because you keep saying my name." That's the best part of her. She's one of the best promotion tools that you could ever get behind you.
I tell you what, I just love the memes that roll out on this gal. They're so funny. I mean, you remember back in the day where we used to get those desktop calendars that have the peel off each day and have a comic.
365 days of Ocasio.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Jeff, there's an idea for you. We want the just give us a little kickback.
Yeah, just give us some residuals.
Fuck that! I want that to be ours. God.
Oh no, Jeff will get somebody in China to make it. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, this one's one of my favorite. Yes, we can land on the moon. We just have to do it at night.
Yes.
Land on the sun. Land on the sun.
Yeah. Oh, sun. I'm sorry. Yeah, I read that wrong.
That's all right. That's because you were thinking logically, Ken.
Yeah, I was thinking the moon.
We really can't only land on the moon. But
I'm like, oh my God.
Now,
she's just a genius.
if you want to go to some place that usually runs to her defense, jump on fucking Reddit. Oh my God.
The defense of the undefensible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Reddit is the most. Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to fucking describe that thing. Is they have these fucking karma points.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm actually in the negative right now.
Yeah. You're looking for something bad, huh?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's things that I say that people will suddenly just fucking downvote.
Right.
So I owe them votes now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
I'm so far in the fucking hole right now.
Okay.
It's crazy. So now I just like to see how much in arrears I can go.
Right. Well,
I love this. My thoughts on Syria. Well, I like Cocoa Puffs.
there's some good ones. There are
God.
some good ones out
my
there.
thermos keeps my coffee hot and my iced tea cold. How does it know which is which?
How does it know? Oh my God.
Anyway, I just,
How is she not a blonde? I don't understand that. God, that's
I don't
God's
know.
cruel joke right there.
It
No
is.
blonde hair.
Yeah, I mean, God bless her. In the South, we say that a lot for the
Bless
special
your
ones.
heart.
Bless your heart. The one I think is funny, though, is as she's been out there speaking for money, it kicked up a petition.
Yeah.
And the petition out there is saying that they're supporting a $15 per hour wage for politicians.
I'm all for that.
And they have to punch a time card. They
Yeah.
literally have to park their ass in a seat.
Right.
Since
that seems to be their mantra as of late. $15 an hour is a livable wage.
Sure.
Guess what? You just
Because-
assigned yourself a new wage.
Because what they do is they sit there and they miss important things like this 9/11 thing, but they'll sit there and try to pass a law that forces us
Yeah.
to have a warning detector in your car to remind you that
You
you
left your kid behind.
You left your kid behind. Have you seen that?
Yes, that is hilarious.
I was like, oh my God,
that
you gotta
left
be
your
kidding
kid in
me.
a hot car.
Yeah.
Don't leave your kids in the oven.
It's so, yeah.
I'll pass it as long as the warning starts off with "Hey stupid."
Yeah, exactly.
Hey stupid on speaker.
Well, so
over here.
we kind of game this out, and I think it should be the alarm should be James Brown.
Okay.
Oh
which one?
yes.
Hey, you left your kid in the car. Get your car. It's hot. Do the whole hot tub thing that
that's
Eddie Murphy did on
funny.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I want James Brown. I'm petitioning for James Brown's
We'd have
voice
to dig him up.
to be on the. Well, we got plenty of recordings.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got
we
people
do.
who
We
can
can make it
imitate the
happen.
voice.
Because
I think he's still riding around in a bus somewhere, isn't he? Didn't that shit go on for like a month or something? Like they
something
drug him
like
around
that.
for like the Pharaoh or
I
something.
remember we were talking the other day when we first talked about this. It would be like a whole bunch of cars that have these new alarms where it turns out to be like a concert of James Brown's telling that you left your fucking kids.
So
in the fucking hot
when
car.
people had their iPhones and they're playing music on the bus, each instrument. Can you see yourself going down the highway in a traffic jam and everybody's like, "Hey, get a move on it, get your kid." I mean, I just think the whole James. How would you not forget that guy?
I want there to be
Perfect.
one car that starts off with dun 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 dun, and then everybody walks
Yeah.
away.
There you go.